Okay. Hello. Reports. If you want to listen to the reports of the PPI board, we're going to start now. We're going to start with me, Jerry. Hello. I'm going to put up the report here on the screen. So I'm going to start with the report for co-chairman. We have here the beamer and the stream for the. So if there are not enough chairs, bring your chairs. But there are still 3 chairs here if you want to listen here. So I'm sorry for the people on the stream, so you can't see me, but you can hear me because I have to read through my report. So I updated this regularly on a monthly basis. So it started in May after the elections. Just to summarize, something that I've done every month is contact between pirate parties. That means just if some pirate party asks, how can I reach this pirate party? How can I reach this person? Then I put them into contact. Also, what I've done nearly every month is press work. So if there was some journalist asking for a report, asking questions, then we answered them mostly together with Gregory. But sometimes someone did more or less than the other. So that would be a common task for the co-chairman. Apart from that, I did visit some congresses or conferences. As you see here in May 2010, it was Pirate Without Borders, a German party congress in Bingen, where the PPI membership was accepted, where I was talking to the delegates, not to the delegates, to the members of the Pirate Party of Germany. So we get the PPI exception through. Apart from that, I was in Brussels in late February, I think it was November, yes. I was in Brussels for an IT conference, an IP conference, sorry, from the Commission. It's called, the conference is called IP, so that's the title of the conference, Jakob. That's not a discussion for now, I say. So apart from that, what is probably a project of mine and not the general work of a co-chairman is that with Stefan Ortmann from Germany, I set up the PPI press release exchange, or the parrot.ppinternational.net. So where I sent most of you, or every one of you, email asking for press release exchange, so we can share the press releases and change and modify them without any license limitations, so we can work together and don't have to write every pirate party his own press release. Then I tried to be in contact with some other new parties, and my job was mostly to be in contact with French-speaking parties, because I was a board member who is speaking French. So I was in contact with the Moroccan Pirate Party for the last few months, and also with the Tunisian Pirate Party. We had some exchange there, especially during their revolution and the members of Pirate Party Tunisian that were kidnapped. Then I was also now, of course, preparing this conference and working out of the last conference, so getting the statute amendments in that were proposed after the conference but not properly submitted to the board for this conference. So some of the statute amendments that you saw yesterday proposed by Pirate Party of Luxembourg, which I submitted, were actually ideas from pirates, for example, from the UK, I also participated in some of the WikiLeaks or task force, or the Tunisian or the Moroccan task force, however you want to call it. I couldn't participate on a daily basis, but I was there, and I tried to get word around, so by sending out invitations at the beginning to every pirate party so they can join. Apart from that, I also started with Stefan Ortmann the project of the pirate calendar. That didn't work out until the end. It's still an open task, because we finished first the parrot, so the press release exchange. But it's open, and the new board can continue this work there. They just have to contact Stefan Ortmann or me, and we can continue the work there. Yes, that the parrot was in part of the text production task force, which I also started. Also, at the beginning of, at the end of 2010, we started with the Pirate Party of the Week, where I sent out questions to national pirate parties, so to present themselves and make other pirate parties aware of the national particularities. And these were published on the website when it was still up. Let me scroll through this very quickly to see if I forgot something. I think I updated this on a regular basis, so perhaps you had a look at it already. Just to very quickly say what I have not done, because that's also important. So from the last conference, I told that one of my projects would be to do a redesign of the website, and now we don't even have the old website up again. I also thought that I couldn't be able to do the technical stuff, so I cannot explain you what happened to the website. But I tried to get the redesign going, but that was not successful. So there, I wasn't able to get this project going. Yes, so I want to wrap it up and ask you if you have any questions for me. I'm sorry.
Minor remark, really.
I'm sorry.
It's nothing. January 2011, not January 2010.
Any more questions or remarks from the stream? Okay.
Why are you not running for the board?
I am not running again because I don't have the time next year, very probably, to get a 1 year, to fulfill a 1 year commitment, and I don't want to run for half a year or 4 months, so I'm not running at all. Any other questions? Okay, then we move on with Gregory. Gregory.
Okay. So I wrote a report, but it's not well formatted yet, and it's not yet in the wiki, but it will be like tonight or like this. And then follow the construction. In the wiki, I have all the report for the May of 2010, and then I forgot to update the wiki. But actually, it's not that difficult to reconstruct because there are all the meetings and all the minutes. And also, I was working quite close together with Jerry, so most of stuff he did, I was involved in somehow. And we shared, of course, the accountability for contacting press, and most answers we gave to the press inquiries we wrote together, or we double-checked, and so this is a lot of press work been done, which is I don't really see here in the report, but we had about 20 press responses to write, and I think we issued 4 press releases during the last year, something like that. And I went to different conferences than Jerry. I've been to 5, I think, occasions. I've been in June 2010. I was in Bonn at the federal government federal conference for of Germany for political education, where I did some contacts with some NGOs and made contacts on political education of how to export democracy, and had a very good contacts from that, and which I intend to use as soon as we got a headquarter, and so we could apply for funds. And this is, well, I come back to what I haven't done yet. Then I went in October. I went to Milan in Italy for the European Liberty Conference, where I had a talk on there is no such thing, intellectual property. And I had this talk in a shared discussion session with Professor Michael Baldwin, who wrote the book Against Intellectual Monopoly. And we had like about 60 or so students from the University of Bocconi who we made a good impression with and had started interest in pirate parties, and also whoa! Sorry? So, back again. Yes, I also went to the pirate parties assemblies. I was in Switzerland on the General Assembly in Olten and had a talk there. I went to the General Assembly of the Pirate Party of Bavaria and had a talk there and presentation, and have made some, well, encouraged them to join the PPI, which they did anonymously. And I also had a talk at the Assembly of the Pirate Party of Hesse, and I've been have organized an international meeting on the during the parallel session during the General Assembly of the Pirate Party of Germany in May 2010, on which I think like about 20 people participated, mostly German-speaking pirate parties, and we had a less large group in Chemnitz in November 2010, which I also did preparation and participation. Also, we started up some discussion groups on international coordination there. Then I went in September to Russia, to Moscow, and visited there for a 3-day event for the first Assembly of the Pirate Party of Russia. This actually created a lot of press attention. They were able to make good publicity with it, and then and get some journalists in. So it was like 4 TV reports and about 30 or so in print and other media reports, and had some interviews afterwards also with TV. And these are linked on my German wiki page. I have a press size. All together, it was like during the last since the last conference was altogether about 40 or so press occurrences of the PPI. And where I was directly involved, and either as an interviewer, partner, or producer of the news. Well, I also did at some point started to manage the infrastructure, the IT infrastructure of the Pirate Parties International, and found a sponsor that would provide a root server for us. So we have a root server now, and we have moved new stuff which set up there, like the press exchange database, the calendar, international calendar database. I also created an internal password storage system for Pirate International, because there's one of the challenges we faced that the passwords were tied to people who were left from the board, and it was like a little of a hassle to get them back and change them. So it took me about 7 months to get the DNS password for changing the DNS zone for the PPI international.net domain. But now I have it. Now it's in the password database, so whoever comes next, it's accessible to create new subdomains and start stuff. Also created a wiki mirror, which is not functioning right now, but I was involved in the wiki administration, and we have migrated the wiki to a new host and a new software, and have a bug that it's, since then it's run on the wrong domain name, which is an alias of the real one, but there's some configuration on the host I cannot make myself because I need the guy who has the right for it, and he's not doing it, and I've requested it for 3 months already. So, but other than that, the wiki is much more stable now than it was in the beginning of the year, and what I didn't done is to migrate the old website to a new host, because I wasn't able to migrate the 7-year-old software, 4 years old software, Drupal and MySQL and PHP, to get the old distributives of this software to migrate it offsite in a virtual machine and then to upgrade it. Well, it's technicality. My skill wasn't enough to that, and I wasn't able to find help to help me. So I came to what I haven't done. So like I haven't migrated the old website, and it is not right now it's not functional, but there is a backup in existence which we can use to get the data back. So it's nothing lost. It's just like it's not functional since 3 months. I also, one of the major tasks, I said that I would get funding money for the PPI, and I would use my contacts to get public tenders and stuff. But I did a condition that I just start asking for this as soon as we will register the headquarter. So we would have a legal personality and would be able to sign legal binding contracts. And I put it off. I haven't started to raise funds. And the problem was that we had a problem of having no access to our banking account because our treasurer went out of communication, and it took a long time to reinstate the contact with the bank and to get an online access to the account, and we just got it 4 weeks ago, and now we have access to the money, and we would need 1,000 euros to register as a registration fee for the headquarter. And so it is everything, as I understand, everything is ready, the statutes has been written, and the notary has been found, the list of notaries we can work with, and it just needs like a go, and we wanted to put it off to the new board and not creating reality with the outgoing board to do this. So we have access to bank now. Thank you very much. Since 4 weeks, we do have access to the bank. We have the money, so we can do it now. The lay auditors will report on that. So this was a mistake for me, that I was like making a condition to waiting for the creation of a headquarter, and so I started to getting in sponsors and funding quite late. We were able to find some sponsors for this conference, so to make it financially possible to run it, and we have the sponsor for the IT, for the shared host, for the root host we're using, and there are more contacts actually to be waiting for us for and to money to be raised, but well, this is what was missing. Have I forgot something? Certainly, but I think it's okay. No, we have more board members here. Sorry. So this was my report, and I would questions.
I mean, do you think it's all right that you didn't care about for 10 months that the treasurer left with the money from the conference and like French delegates didn't get paid?
It's not true that we haven't cared for 10 months. The point is that our treasurer had been badly reachable by us, has not participated in our meeting or very rarely, and have promised every time to get a financial update on what the status would be, and he handled all the mail communications. So actually we only got that there was a problem of handling back the refunds as there was like an outcry on the mailing list. And before that we haven't even known that he really didn't done anything, because to us they said it will all processed and all been taken care of and just need like 2 days more and then it will be done. So that is. And after that in June we started to, August was. we started to actually get contact to the bank and setting up what is needed to reinstate contact. And this was a long process, and we still hoped then that Nico would show up at some time, because he was available on Facebook to chat with other people and was reading Twitter messages and answering other people's emails on the mailing list, but not to us. You had a question?
Well, more like a remark. I just showed you the business card from the account manager at the Triodos Bank. Yeah, I know, and I have given you that data way back. The account is registered on an informal association. A number 10 months was mentioned. You could have easily have called the account manager, go there with 2 other responsible people and fix everything. And
to other responsible people, the only people who can have access to the account was the 3 people, was Jerry, me, and Nico. So I can't get 2 additional people if Nico is not there.
No,
so
just
it's not
the 2
possible.
of you can run the bank account, but
Right,
you did
and
not.
this is exactly what we did, and the bank took like months to answering emails, to answering stuff. It took a long time to communication with the bank. As you already know, this bank is not very
Triodos is a very serious
professional bank
I'm
to
sorry,
work with.
you're talking
Okay.
from your arse.
It's a remark of yours, and it's very nice that you have this opinion. Thank you very much. Any other serious questions? Thank you. I would hand over to Jacob.
Good morning. I guess I can stand in the front so that you don't have to turn your heads. Okay. So my name is Jakub Michalek, and I was the member of the board, and my main task was to prepare the statutes amendments, as that is the field that I specialize in. So I hope that the results are not that bad. We tried to improve the statutes as they were. We are not trying to change everything, just the just provisions that might cause real troubles. For instance, one of the main troubles of the board was that on like 80% of the meetings there was no quorum, so no votes could take place. So the statutes amendments was my main goal, and I also participated whenever Jerry or anybody else needed assistance, like in rules of procedure and stuff like that. I prepared a WIPO application, also so-called WIPO, or World Intellectual Monopoly Organization, so that we would, so the next board has an application prepared, it can send to the WIPO, and we will get hopefully some intrinsic information about what is being prepared. And we could also use the disputes between organizations such as WIPO and World Trade Organization. We could use this to move them against each other, use this in our advantage. Also, I participated in writing the press releases on WikiLeaks, and I was trying to share ideas and stuff that were useful for the Czech Pirate Party with everybody else. So for instance, when we did the Pirate Leaks, which is a Czech project, I sent it to the members so they would know. And I know that there are projects like RuLeaks and others that actually started the same thing. And probably what I think is most important, we organized 2 conferences, one in Prague and one in Ústí nad Labem. We invited all the members on the mailing list, and there was a conference in Prague in May, and the PirateCon in Ústí nad Labem, which was a great success. We met with interesting people from abroad, and I think that should be one of the most important things that could take place through Pirate Parties International. Thank you. Well, it's hard for me to moderate my own speech. Okay, are there any questions or remarks or? Doesn't appear so.
So let's look how it works out with the netbook in the hand. First of all, I regularly participated on the telephone conferences of the PPI, leading up to 31 times out of 46, which is about 2/3 of all possible telephone conferences. I was excused 12 times. And to be honest, I was unexcused 3 times, making me third in the list of participation in the list after Jerry and Gregory, which I can claim that they were very, very busy and in an ideally world as chairpersons. 22 times of that telephone conferences I worked as a secretary on teleconferences, but to be honest, that wasn't that much because we all worked within the pad, and even Jerry or Gregory added everything that has pad to be needed, so I will not claim that as perfect. What was a lot of work was that I have installed and already partly updated an international pirate party contact list, which is at the moment summarizing over 200 people from about 30 parties, including function and email address, which I think was quite helpful for our regular base, for the Pirate of the Week actions that were on a regular base for most over 6 or 7 months is where we started from the start. Furthermore, I took place within the review of the press releases, the conference preparations, and the statute amendments. And I co-represented together with Jerry and together with Gregory, the PPI at the PP conferences at Bingen and Chemnitz. And I represented Pirate Party International as well on the Pirates Without Borders in Bingen as well. Furthermore, I partly participated within several task forces, exempli grazie the ACTA task force, but I will not claim as to be perfect because there were other people within the task forces who did a lot more, so I will not point out that too much. Overall, I think it was quite a successful year. Thanks in the first place to the work of Jerry and the work of Gregory. I really have to say that that it's a bigger problem that Jerry is not going to continue because he was really great, and I send all my hope to the next year into Gregory, which I hope that he can continue our work. Of course, it was a problem that we were without the financial response that we needed to set up more than just conferencing, which was a bit less than I expected in the beginning. But well, that's how it works sometimes. And if you have read some of the mails on the representation on the conference board, yes, we had several troubles to get enough people to be able to commit anything. So that was quite something that lowered our work, especially in the second half of that year. I don't know how we can find a solution for that problem. That's something other people have to find out, because I'm not going to candidate anymore. And I would clearly say that has nothing to do with the setup of the PPI at the moment, but this is first for the reasons that I'm really restricted at the moment for medical reasons. I don't know how to go on within the next year, so I have to retreat for most of all of my activities. And well, this is. I'm sorry that I cannot continue my work at the place. I hope you don't mind, and you will find another one who can continue the work, especially within the contact list, which I think can be, again, very, very helpful within the next year. Thanks a lot.
Okay. I was the laziest one in the board last year, partly because of my position, and partly because of my personal problems at home. But I spontaneously took over the managing and communication with parties in Balkans. So the guys are preparing and they are ready, but they are not. They did not have the complete presentations for this conference, and according to the changes in statutes, we could expect Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Macedonia to join us very soon. And I took on my own communication with them, and there is a very powerful IT crew behind them. So practically my report comes down to communication with parties in the Balkans, and that's it. Later I will talk a bit more about the plans for the next year. Any questions? Okay. That's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to move on to the lay auditors from Craig.
Hello, everybody. In case you don't remind me, I'm Pat Mechler from Switzerland. I'm one of the 3 lay auditors, together with Ole Husgaard from the Denmarks, a long-time pirate, and Will Tovey, who was the former Chief Administrator Officer of PPI. And I have here the lay audit review. I will hand it out after my presentation. But I would like to have your attention now, because as you already heard, the situation is not really great. The treasurer of PPI has gone missing for months, and nobody was able to contact him. We don't have any personal differences between the lay auditors and Nicholas. We all know him personally. You may even blame us for being too friendly to him, but it's not acceptable that he has gone missing and that the PPI accounts are in the state they are now. Because we have then worked with the co-presidents, which got hold of the bank account and which might have cleared up some of the questions we had. But this process is not yet complete. We do not think that there has been any attempt of fraud by the treasurer. We think there is only one irregularity concerning a donation which we have a receipt for and which is not clear where it has gone to, but we think there will be a perfect, valid explanation. We would like to offer the help to get this task done, to get the PPI accounts in a situation where we can really have a clear following of the bookings and the overall financial situation of PPI. And the largest financial activity in 2010 was the compensation for the travel expenses. But this one is not complete. There are still people and parties out there who got not recompensated for their travel expenses. We would like first to ask especially those that have not been compensated and would like to hand in their receipts as soon as possible, so in order we can get them compensated. And second, even if you have been compensated, we would like to hand you in your receipts if you still have them, because we don't know if we can get hold of the receipts anymore. We hope so. We are positive about it, but just in case, please hand them in if you still have them. Then, for avoiding this happening again in the future, we would like to propose the following 3 things. The board should get copies of all financial transactions and books, including all paperwork, at least once a month. This way, we have a backup in case a treasurer goes missing or is unable to fulfill his role or a similar reason. The lay auditors should also get copies of the financial books at least 4 times per year. And we also suggest that the financial overview might be published in the wiki or similar by the treasurer, so everyone interested can follow PPI's financial situation. This is, however, a policy decision which is up to the assembly. This is your decision if you want anything like that. The other one can be regarded as a decision by the board. We hope we have answered some questions. If there are some open questions, please ask them now. I'm going now to spread the review. Please share them. sharing is caring. So, are there any open questions at the moment? Then, yeah?
You said there was one transaction where it's unclear where the money went. How much is it?
This was a private donation from a person which we know of. And we don't know where the money has gone to, but it might be related to the conference organization, because at the conference organization, some of the money was reimbursed to the Belgian pirates because they were in contracts with certain persons, and some of the EU money, no, sorry. The thing is, the donation might have used for the conference organization, because the membership fees for the conference were not enough to cover all expenses. So we have to investigate with that. Jürgen from the Belgian Pirates still has those receipts. We can have all copies from receipts that were going over the account from the Belgian Pirates, so we can at least have those receipts for sure. And then we have to investigate which receipts are left not clear yet. But apart from this transaction, there were no expenses on behalf of PPI. Because, Nicholas didn't, the treasurer didn't pay any expenses from the bank account, except for the reimbursement of the EU travel funds. Yes, okay, sorry, I forgot that. The bank account has, of course, certain fees.
Under the new statutes now, the General Assembly can make procedural decisions also for the board. Thus, I would suggest we Austrians want to put your recommendations into motion. So just to replace should with shall in the first two parts of the recommendations, and the start of the sentence of the third recommendation from we suggest that the financial overview might be published, blah, blah, being replaced by a financial overview has to be published.
I guess it's up to the co-presidents to lead the discussion from this point on.
Okay. So that were the board reports.